Full disclosure, it's spring break week, so all of the kiddos are home. So you may or may not hear yelling, screaming, laughing, running around. You know, anything can really happen, so be prepared. Hey everybody, and welcome to Lindsey's Little Library. I'm stopping in today to let you know what books I bought in my latest book haul. Again, thought I was doing pretty good, but ran into some really good deals at my library as well as Goodwill lately, so couldn't refuse them. First one up is the only one that I ordered through Amazon, and is all Krista's fault from Books and Jams, because she couldn't stop kind of raving and totally sold me on this book. So it's The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This is about a town who sacrifices a baby every year to keep the witch who lives in the forest happy. Little do they know that the witch in the forest really doesn't need the baby to stay happy and isn't really sure why she keeps getting these babies every year. So she takes the babies and gives them to the town on the other side of the forest and finds a family for them to live with. On the journey to give the baby away, she gives them Starlight as nourishment and to survive on their journey. And one year she makes the mistake of giving the baby Moonlight, which has some very magical repercussions. And so she decides to raise that baby as her own. Sounds really great. I've also heard that the audio version is fantastic. As soon as I told my daughter about this book, she was all about getting it and wanting to read it with me. So we picked that one up. So as long as we're talking about kids books, I did come across a couple of books from my childhood when I was at the library, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I found The Borrowers by Mary Norton. Please tell me someone else has read these books. I read these as a kid. It's about these very little people, like they use a button for a table. Like they're really tiny little people and they live underneath the kitchen and they kind of go around at night and kind of gather things that might be useful for them to borrow to kind of help survive as they live in these in like our houses. So it introduces you to the borrowers and kind of how they live, and then one of them goes on an adventure in the other one. So I picked these up for my kids as well because they're super fun books. All right, the next one I did order along with The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I was watching Robin from Driftless Reader talk about this book, and I needed to read it. It's Evicted by Matthew Desmond. It centers around poverty and the eviction process, not only from the tenants but from the landlord's perspective. It is set in Milwaukee, which I am a fellow Wisconsinite, so familiar with the area. And just sounded like something I would definitely want to read and learn a little bit more about. So I picked that one up as well. Okay, so I scored big time at my library this last week, so I'm going to kind of keep going through the pile that I picked up from there. In my library, their book sales are, they have a bookstore that's open all of the time, so it's not like they have them monthly or quarterly or something like that. So anytime I go to the library, I always check out that little bookstore that they have. So all of their kind of adult books are $1, their kids books are $0.25, so you really can't pass it up. So I picked up Don't You Cry by Mary Kubica. I read Good Girl by her. Did I read another one? I don't remember, but I liked Good Girl. And for $1, I mean, it wasn't like one of my favorite books of all time, but it's definitely a good psychological thriller, so picked up Don't You Cry. Again, I don't really like to know a lot about psychological thrillers, so I don't know what it's about. I just picked it up for the author, and I'm going to give that a shot. Next one I found I am super interested about, and I've never heard anyone else really talk about this one. It's How to Be an American Housewife by Margaret Dillaway. This centers around a character who lives in Japan, and she meets and marries an American GI, and they move to the United States to live. She leaves a bit of a secret behind, kind of hoping it goes away. But we find out years later she wants to return to Japan because her brother is sick, and instead of her going, she sends her daughter, and her daughter not only gets an idea of where her mom grew up, but also starts to learn some of these family secrets that are out there. So sounds really, really good, but again, I've never heard of it. So if you have and you've read this book, let me know what you thought. Next one I picked up was James Patterson's First Love. I'm a sucker for his lovey-dovey, easy read type books like this. Other ones that I've read is Sundays at Tiffany's, Suzanne Syrie for Nicholas, those type of things. I couldn't tell you what this is about, just other than I've liked them before as kind of an easy read, so I picked that up. And then the last one I found at the library was The Red Hunter by Lisa Unger. I read Fragile by Lisa Unger a couple of years ago, and I really liked that. This one, again, I don't know a ton about, but it sounds like she's got the perfect life. It starts to fall apart though. Something happened that's causing her to have a bunch of anxiety around it. Who knows what else happens. Again, I don't like to know a lot about psychological thrillers before I go into them. So, keeping with our psychological thriller kind of theme here, we'll go with. I placed my first order on Thrift Books not that long ago, which was decent. I'm pretty okay. Shipping wasn't great, but neither is shipping from Book Outlet, so you take what you can get. But I think I paid maybe $3 for both of these books, and I got a couple of other ones, but they're gifts, so you can't see them. But I liked it. It's good. I picked up The Perfect Girl by Gilly Macmillan. I read the book she wrote, What She Knew, which I think came out after this book, but it doesn't matter. I really liked that book. This centers around a girl named Zoe who is a prodigy. She's a genius. She, I believe, plays the piano, but fabulous. Something happens though in her past. There was an accident or an incident that left 3 of her classmates dead. She has served her time, whatever that means, and is now trying to move on, and her mom's really helping her try to start a new life again. So her mom sets up this really great concert, and during the concert something happens to her mom, and she's thrown back into this world of what the heck happened in the past, and is it connected to what happened to her with her mom. So sounds good. The next one I have is All the Breaking Waves by Carrie Lonsdale. This was a recommendation from one of my friends at book club that basically said, oh my god, Lindsay, how have you not read this book already? You need to get it. So I got it. Couldn't tell you what it's about though. Who knows? We're gonna give it a shot though. Alright, the last ones I found at Goodwill for pretty decent. My Goodwill, I feel like they have their prices on their books pretty high, so I try to be selective when I'm there. I picked up The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. I believe this centers around a family and their pet. I don't know a whole lot about it other than someone at work literally texted me, I think it was on a Sunday, and she said, I just read this book in one day and you have to read it. So, okay, I trust your advice. I'll pick it up. And the last 2 I picked up because I either borrowed them to somebody and never got them back, accidentally sold them, accidentally got rid of them. I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't have them anymore, and I really want to reread them or be able to lend them out because they're such amazing books. They're both by Gillian Flynn. So I have Sharp Objects and Gone Girl. I'm pretty sure I borrowed this to somebody and just never got it back, which I hate it when that happens, but I won't stop borrowing books to my friends because, I mean, everyone should read them. Like, that's one of the things I like the most about reading a good book and passing it on. So picked those back up because I like to have them as part of the library. So that's it. That's what I picked up in the last month or so. I don't remember the last time I did a book haul, but it's been a little bit of time. If you've read any of these books, let me know which one I should pick up first. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!